Hey, welcome back to the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith. Louis Hamistoy darted, bolted, went somewhere. He's a big wig. He's got fires to put out or something. That's the way it is. Bakersfield Speedway segment. I'm with Scott Schweitzer. How you doing, Scott?
Recovering, a little tired from a big event on Friday, but trying to get back in the swing of it because we start racing again this Saturday again.
And that big event was the first World of Outlaws race, sprint car race at the Speedway since 2005. Friday night, a little different. How'd things go?
Went well. It was a great show, great turnout of cars, great turnout of fans. So really excited. I mean, for our aspect of it for the racetrack, this is when we did the event in 2005. It was just a facility rent, so that's easy. You just get the facility ready and let them take over. This one, we did ourselves in-house, so it was a lot more detailed, lot bigger, and we're just a small family that runs the racetrack, so 4 or 5 of us did it all. So we're excited. We're happy to get it under our belt and turn out good.
Now, how much work is that? I mean, you had to do this. I guess we've got. How much work was it to get this Outlaw show going?
It was quite a bit. I started in January in 15, actually, is when I first met with them and started talking about it and started doing the logistics of it, and didn't find out till November of 15 is when they actually said, okay, we're coming and this is your date. So at that point, the date, when we had them in 2005, it was the first race of the year. So as we were getting ready for the season, we were ready for the World of Outlaws. We've been racing for 4 or 5 races. So then we had to stop racing, get cleaned up and ready and all this for this big event. So
Right.
It was a lot of work.
And you go shift gears right away. You go back. You've got a full regular house show this weekend.
Yeah, we got sport mods, stock cars, mod lights, mini stocks, and mini dwarfs. So yeah, we turn right around and get right back into our normal Saturday night routine.
Mini dwarfs weren't on the original schedule. Kind of an added one, or were they on there?
Nah, I think they were on there.
They're
I
on there.
believe
So
I try not to change my schedule that much. So once my schedule is set, once I get back from Reno, I try not to change it that much, just because families, racers make plans, vacations, stuff like that, and the last thing I want to do is impede on that.
you got that. You got the sport mods. Clint Reichenbach won the last 2 races, so
Yeah,
he's come on really strong.
Yeah, Clint's been hot. He was a great driver when he raced hobby stocks for us, and then he took some time off and went and got a different job and was out of town working. And now that's actually his dad's, Chad's old sport mod when Chad decided to move up to the A mods, and
Right.
Clint bought it. And man, he's really been shoeing that car well and's got the last 2 victories. So it's going to be exciting to see how this division shakes out throughout the
Yeah,
year.
because last year I think there were something like 8 or 10 winners in that division. A lot of winners in all the divisions last year, other than hobby stock.
Yeah, and it'll start getting more interesting as we go, obviously, because the earned point average, the IMCA point average, takes an effect now. So now Clint will now have to be starting in the 6th row, so make it a little bit harder to work up to the front.
Right. So that starts taking effect after a couple of races.
Yeah, once they race a couple of races, then they'll start. Then they earn that point average, and that's when it goes into effect. And then that's where once they make the A main, the leaders invert the top 12. So he starts 12th. So
Yeah. So
make him work for it now. But he's a good driver, a lot of great talent in that class. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him every week on the tech pad in some fashion.
say, Chris, did we have any outlaw art from last week? I think we did. Some of the Tom mocked stuff from out there. It's just as we said, a good crowd, and I think 22.
Yeah,
the
22
sprint cars?
outlaw cars showed up, which was good. They're towards the end of their California swing, so you never know, and they're starting to race 410s and the King of the West series up north, so we didn't know exactly what we were going to get. They were projecting in the high 20s, but 22 is a great field. For a Friday night race, we didn't have to have a B main in them, which helps us so we can move the show right along.
Right, and Tom is there getting it's Brad Sweet came away with the win.
Yeah, it was kind of controversial
Little
because
restart.
Joey Saldana really had him nailed on the restarts and would getting away, and for whatever reason they called that one back, and then after that second restart, Brad Sweet was able to take the lead and ended up winning, and you could tell in Joey's post-race interview, he wasn't real happy.
He wasn't.
So
Yeah,
I never
he-
heard the results of it after we went to the big World of Outlaw trailer to see what was going on. But man, it was a great race. There was distinctively two lines, high and low, and they were doing some slide jobs and moving all around. So and they were real impressed with the facility and with the racing service. So it was,
and you actually had some people move up and come from the back. It was Donnie Schwartz.
yeah, Donnie Schatz was
Schatz came up from 17th to finish 5th, so that shows that you could pass on the race.
Yeah, he was the hard charger of the got the hard charger award, and yeah, he moved up quite a bit. So it showed the track was racy, and they were able to move around on it.
Now you did this or out here, and it's a big show. I mean, they've got all the haulers in the
Yeah.
pits. They've got the merchandise booth. They do the nice thing, but I love it seeing those sprint cars on the parade lap 4 wide.
Yeah, that's always. I mean, that's the coolest part of the World of Outlaws. That salute to the fans, the 4 wide, and it's funny because we talked about that in the pre-race meeting with the officials about, are you sure you're gonna be able to go fit 4 wide on our little track? And they said, yeah, it won't be a problem, and they did, and the fans really respond to that, and it's a cool part of having the World of Outlaws. So
You got that, and that said the track record in 2005, 10.32 seconds. Not even close to that. Is that because the track was pretty heavy?
You know what? It was funny because we were talking to Jason Sides before the race. I actually went up and stood in turn 1, and he came up there and we talked a little bit. And I asked him about the track record, and he said, "Yeah, the track's quite a bit different as far as the prep. It was a lot wetter and heavier in '05, and they were able to put a crazy setup on the car, and the track was able to hold it. So he predicted then that he didn't think the track record would get messed with, but they were still. I think Saldano did get down in the 10-second laps.
Yeah. I think Sweet went out early, and the track was pretty heavy, which isn't really good for quickness,
Yeah.
speed early. And Brad Sweet ran, I think, a 10.97 early, and everybody else was well into the 11s. And then late, Saldano comes out and runs the 10.90.
Yeah.
But you can see though, as the qualifying went on, the track got quicker and quicker and quicker.
It was pretty cool to listen to some of the fans' reactions post race too, as well as when they went out and hot lapped. They thought the cars got up to speed, and they were like, "Cool, they're pretty fast," but it wasn't as fast as when they came out then when they came out for time trials, they were a full second and a half faster, and that's when people were just in awe to see how fast those cars really get around the track.
Basically, by the time the heat races come on, it's full song and it's time
amazing
to go.
with as much downforce they get with those wings create and how fast they can get around that track.
That kind of thing, and not going to be back next year.
Well, I in talks, but the ultimate plan was to 1 year in Bakersfield, 1 year in Hanford, 1 year in Bakersfield, kind of flip-flopped.
Right.
So because it is an expensive show, and it's tough on families to be able to afford that year after year after year. It's been proven in Hanford that it did get kind of stale, and they seen their attendance kind of drop off, and it's an expensive pill to swallow for a racetrack. So the general thought process moving into this race was we were going to flip it back and forth. So
you see what that goes over the summer.
yeah, so now we'll meet in the off season again and talk to them and see what their plans and my plans are, and we'll go from there.
And we got the rundown there. Of course, Brad Sweet, the winner, Joey Saldana second, Dave Gravel. He had a good run. He didn't qualify very well, came up and finished third, so good race for him. Shane Stewart, and then Donnie Schatz, of course, from 17th up to 5th. Jason Johnson, Paul McMahon, a California guy, been raced out here for years. Willie Croft, Jason Sides, and Bud Kading, second-generation driver. So... And then we've got this is
IMCA Modifieds.
IMCA Modifieds. I forgot they ran as well.
Yeah, we actually had 2 support classes, and I'd really like to say they did a fantastic job. I mean, knowing that we would get a lot of A-mods out there on a Friday night starting at 7:30, we were kind of worried about that, but both classes did a fantastic job and very little amount of yellows and got the program through, so we were able to get everything done within our time restraints.
On a heck of a deal, and Kyle Heckman with the win here beat his teammate got around his teammate Cody Laney late. Heckman thinks he gave a race away a couple weeks ago where he got passed by Laney late in the race, and he was pretty elated to get that win, and it was a hard-fought win.
Yeah, Kyle's been up on the wheel lately, wanting to get it, get that first victory because he feels like he's given a couple away. But Bill Eagleston, Roger Holder, there's all the top name guys that put on a heck of a race. It was a good show.
Ethan, the last name there is Dotson, is fifth. Bill Eagleston came down from up north. He doesn't make too many trips down here.
He made our last race, but he was involved in that last lap crash and tore up some stuff. It was good to see him come back and have a good night.
And then you got Mike Kirby, Brett Bennett, Logan Drake, Steve Nolan, and Mike Johnson. Missing from this lineup was Brad Pounds because he and his wife Tina are parents of twin boys born last Monday.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool to see a little Tina put up on her Instagram, Brad carrying the two boys to their doctor's appointment and say these are the first guys that kept Brad from racing. So, yeah, Brad's probably going to take a month off. They've been had twin boys, and their hands are full, and that's cool. And he's a proud papa now, and so when he gets back, now we'll be happy to have him back. But he's got business at home to take care of,
and that's good to see where the priorities are.
Absolutely,
for Brad, and
absolutely. Family is very
that
important.
Comes first. Yeah, the IMCA stock cars out there, and this is beginning to be a trend here. This Steven Johnson is fast in these cars, and he got out front, I think, on the second lap. And there was no catching him.
Yeah, Steven Johnson's a great racer. Put him in a hobby stock. He beat up the field. Now we put him in a stock car, and he's doing the same. So, yeah, I'm sure we're going to see Steven up there quite a bit. And we know there's more cars out there. They're being built. More people are coming. So it's going to get better as we go. But, yeah, the stock cars, again, put on a great show that night.
And he's driving a car sponsored by Mike Hill Jr.
Right.
And he always thanks him for the opportunity
Absolutely.
to get into that, because if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be there, and he's making the most of it for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And Mike's doing real well, too. New division for Mike. He's running 2 classes and staying real busy, but doing a fantastic job in the stock car as well.
Okay. Well, we got it. Again, we got the sport mods.
Stock cars. Mod lights, mini stocks, and mini dwarfs. Yeah.
6 o'clock, Bakersfield Speedway. Plenty of action, and we're going to see what they're going to do out there.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Yep, getting right back to our normal routine. Got the big show under our belt. Now back to our normal routine. So,
okay, thanks for coming in, and we will see you next week.
Thank you, Mike.